What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to Creating Consciousness. I'm your host, Jesse Singh. This is where we explore everything from comedy, spoken word, music, poetry, all different creative avenues, and mental health. And we talk about how creativity and imagination can help us on our day-to-day life. Along the way, I also have some guests that will be joining me. And today, I'm very excited because this is our first ever guest. But this person has been a mentor to me, a comedian, and I'm very grateful to also call her a friend. Ladies and gentlemen, Crystal Ferrier.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice. We're friends? Oh, I'm kidding.
All right, actually, mentor and comedian.
We are friends, okay? We are friends.
No, but appreciate you coming out. Yo. Thank you, Crystal. And for those of you who don't know, man, she's like a professional seasoned touring headliner, tours all across the country. She's been in the game for years, opened up for some of the biggest names like Russell Peters, Usama Sadiq, who just won Kevin Hart. Oh, sorry. Came in second, but also is a fan favorite.
Still a winner.
Still a winner. And,
winner. Yeah.
Bro, like we just talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
What happened after the show also proves that, you know what I mean? It was a way to capitalize off of everything.
100%.
Yeah. The
traction. I'm all about leverage.
Yeah.
And that was a perfect example of
100%. And what I loved about the show was that, like, you can tell it was real comics coming up there.
100.
Like, fighting for it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
You could feel that, right? Did you feel that?
Yeah,
like, energy, and you're just like,
Bro, like, I was nervous for them. Because it's like, you remember...
Yeah.
And this is not the same scale at all, but like I remember doing like the Prove You're a Comic competition
in Mississauga, Ontario.
Yeah, in Absolute Comedy, Young and Eglinton, bro. It was an amateur contest, but even that, bro, like even though it's such a larger scale, you could still see the same feelings being reflected.
Yes, because those were really mostly all seasoned bros, and then to put them in a competition, that's a bit crazy.
100%, bro.
You know, so you knew everyone was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And like I said, even between him and like Ron, again, absolutely crushed it too.
Yes.
And like just seeing someone that, because I've met, and you've worked with Usama before.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah, which is dope. And like I've met the dude, very nice guy as well. And it's like to see someone that literally came from the trenches, bro.
100. He's been grinding for a while. People don't realize that.
Yeah. So shout outs, bro. Big ups to you. But moving on from that, a little bit about you, Crystal, right? Opening about, like I said, opening with Russell and Usama as well. How were those experiences like?
Yeah,
like,
Russell was a trip. It was crazy because it was Casino Rama. It was like one of the biggest shows I've ever done. Yeah. You know, it was like a total, I think, of 11,000 people. Right.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah. So doing comedy for that many people is different.
Yeah.
You know, sound wise, and even like waiting for laughs and things like that. Right. But the best part about that was I had a great set. I was nervous, but I had a great set.
Yeah.
But after that, people were kind of going into the casino, and I didn't really think anything of it.
Yeah.
When I went to the casino after with a couple of friends and my husband, and people were like recognizing me, asking to take a picture. I went into the bathroom, fam, and someone was like, "Can I have a picture?" I was like, "Can I take a first?" Or
so I just took a douche, but you know,
like sure, let's go outside the washroom and take a picture. But yeah, it was wild.
That's dope, man. That's beautiful, yo. And like again, like you were obviously one of those people that I always thought like it was well deserved, yo, because you've been grinding for years. I remember when I started, you were already headlining shows, and like it's weird seeing like, because I don't know if you ever felt this way, but like I remember when I started and like seeing people in that position of like headlining, and I had this moment recently too, where it's like you see people headlining, you see them working and doing all these shows that you want to be on, and in your head you're like, bro, they made it. And then
of course.
We talked about it, and it's like, bro, it's literally not at all what you think making it is.
No, it's literally $75 more than what you got paid.
Yeah, bro. Or sometimes not even. You just got free food, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, like, if you're a headliner, of course, when I wasn't a headliner, we looked at the headliners and we were like, oh, this is school, this is church. People don't do that anymore. No. I feel like people don't sit and listen to your headliner. Your headliner is a headliner for a reason. Yeah. You know, and I think I got to headline fairly quickly because I did stay at all shows, and I studied, you know, the greats really that were coming up. So,
yo, that's a huge point, and we talked a little bit about this last episode too with Dante, but like, I feel like that was the thing that became bittersweet with social media. Was that social media was a huge catalyst for being an independent artist. You could make your own brand and stuff like that, which is beautiful. You could sell your own tickets. And it's still necessary, right? Like 100%. It's not like I was one of those guys in the beginning where I'm like, bro, you don't need this shit. I'm not trying to play a character. But it's like, you learn fairly quickly where it's like, yo, it's just the new age.
Right, and you have a choice.
Yeah, you have a choice.
You could be that grumpy old comedian, which we were for a little bit because we're old school. We just need a mic and a stage, you know? Or you can kind of move with the times.
Absolutely. But one thing that I don't think you could ever take away is what you said.
Yes.
Is the time that you put in, and the stage experience is always going to be something that you need.
Right. And I think there's something magical when you can kill in front of any audience,
100%.
Not just your audience.
100%. Yeah.
Right? Which is a lot of people don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's cool. Like, make your money. But like, what type of artistry is that? This is just a business now. It's not the artistry of it. You know?
And like, kind of going off of what you just said about the business side of things. Obviously, for a long time, and you probably get this question a lot too, comedy itself has been like a male-dominated industry for years.
Yes.
And now, though, like, I would say that there are a lot more doors being open for women of color. One, has that been your experience? Do you feel like that is the case? And two, how do you think things have changed over the years from when you started till now? Like, what was the biggest difference you could see?
You know what? When I first started, I was the only Indian female comic
in Toronto.
Yes.
That's crazy, bro. Now we're fucking everywhere.
Now we're everywhere. Okay. And you know what I realized? Like, I think I was like maybe 7 or 8 years in, and Harpreet Sembi did her Darjeeling show. Yeah. Which is all Indian female comics. And I was like, how are you going to do that show? But they were like 5 at the time.
That's wild.
That was 7 years in. So it took 7 years, I felt, to get to a point where it's like, okay, there's more than one. Oh, there's 5. Now there's so many. Yeah. You know, but yeah, it's changed a lot, which I'm grateful for. And I'd like to think I've paved some of the wave, you know, for these comics coming up. But it was hard for me because, like, literally only other Indian, you're going to die because you're not even going to know who this is. There was a woman named Crystal Gomes.
You were both Crystal?
We were both Crystal, but she was like, I think she started and she kind of got sick. And she kind of fell to the side and stopped doing comedy. And then I came in 4 years later, I think. Yeah. And so a lot of people were like, Crystal, oh, that's the same Crystal. Yeah. Even Russell was like, oh, I thought you were that Crystal.
That's crazy.
Right? And I was like, oh, I didn't even know that there was another brown Crystal doing this. But yeah, after me, I feel like, who was the next one? I meant Harpreet. That was the next one.
So obviously you're like, you could see that there are being like avenues being paved and stuff currently.
100%.
Do you think that we are in a position where it's like it is an equal playing field now? Or do you still think there are challenges that you still face that are specific to you being a woman?
I always feel like in life, even
of course,
like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Like I look at my daughters, I'm like, man, like they're born with 2 strikes. Like they're born as women, and then they're born as women of color. Yeah. So it's like you got to work double harder. I've always felt that. I may not like succumb to it. Yeah. I may just try to push it to the side, but yeah, 100%. That it's that fly buzzing around.
That's like it's always something that is there, but you're just like, this is life. Like there's an acceptance to it, not to like make it sound like, oh yeah, it is what it is, but it's like your take on it is like, yo, if it's there, fuck it, it's just a reason for me to grind harder.
100%. And then I always say, you know, like people, you probably get this, like, oh, you're pretty funny for a woman. Yeah.
Then I don't know why I would get that, but
no. No, but my next thing is like, you're pretty funny for an Indian person. Yeah. Right? Like, oh, like I don't really, I just know Russell and that's it. Yeah. You know, so I get both. Like, you're pretty funny for an Indian and a woman, and I'm just like, all right, well, yeah, F you too, buddy. Like,
yeah. I get that one for sure. Right. But I was gonna say, so like, okay, that actually is a great point you just made, because we talked about this before. Yeah. And I still struggle with this sometimes, where it's like in my act and in yours as well, there's jokes that we have where we'll use the accent. Right. Sometimes I get conflicted because I'm like, one, I don't want to punch down on our people. I don't want to feel like we're punching down. So like, I guess that would be my first question.
Yeah.
What would be your definition of punching down? Not just with the accent, in general. Like, what is when you use a joke and someone says, "Oh, you punching down on a group of people," whatever. What does that look like?
Honestly, like that term alone too, I'm just like, that is a newer term that we weren't really familiar with when I started. Yeah. So for me, I'm just like, what is your reality? Like, if it is your reality that your mom has an accent and then you do that accent, like, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's different if your mom doesn't have an accent and then you're like, like, obviously a fake accent.
Yeah.
And then you meet the person's mom, you're like, yo, they're pretty Canadian. Like, there's no Indian accent there. But legit, if you meet my mom or if you speak to my mom, like the character that I do on stage, that is my mom.
100%.
So I'm not going to change my mom. It's almost like me like whitening up my mom to make it more palatable for you.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, it's not pandering if it's your real experience.
If it's a real experience.
Yeah.
No, and I definitely resonate with that as well. And I think it's something that, and I talked to you about this and some other comics as well. Like, if there's certain jokes that I do have, however, like when I first started comedy and I knew they killed, but then afterwards, like as I developed as a comic, I'm like, bro, I don't really like this joke anymore. Because one, it doesn't represent me. And two, I felt like it wasn't so much that I was using the accent. It was that the accent became the joke.
Well, that's the thing. That's a perfect point, right? Because for me, a lot of people would say like, oh, she's only funny because she does the accent. So then, of course, I'd be like, okay, wait a minute, and do the joke without the accent, and it still got a laugh.
Funny. Yeah,
it's still funny. So I'm like, nah, and it's more authentic when I do my accent.
100%. Yeah.
But it's funny still if I don't. So it's like,
don't.
nah, like that's your opinion, and you can keep that.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. No, I appreciate that too, cause like even like the whole Apu debate. You remember that?
Yeah.
I loved Apu. I don't think the man should have got taken. I don't think they should have taken the man. Because, here's my take on that. I get it was a white guy doing the voice.
Well, that's the problem.
But the whole show was centered around stereotypes. Homer was a dumb American, right? Yeah. Mr. Burns or Mr. Smithers or whatever. Was it Mr. Burns is the evil one, right? I fucking forgot the name. Burns.
The bald.
Yeah. So Mr. Burns is the evil one, right?
Like the corporation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like it was all played up, and like I get why people might have like gotten upset, but I'm like, if it's the whole show.
Okay, but wait. I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, please.
Because, like, the whole show could have been what you said, but, like, there was no other cultural stereotype. Like, yeah, okay, a mayor is, like, yeah, we can get into that.
No,
but
the janitor, the Scottish guy.
You know Scottish?
Yeah. Yeah, fam. You remember the guy with the red beard, Willie?
Okay. There's two.
Yeah,
there's two.
Yeah,
You're right. Apu and Willie. And who played Willie? Probably a white dude.
Probably,
that wasn't Irish as well.
No.
Right? So I think that's what it is. I think it's like, okay, if it was an Indian guy, first of all, he wouldn't be like, welcome to Cookie Pot or whatever. I can't even do I'm trying to do a bad Indian accent.
But here, I would argue that's even more racist. Because imagine
an Indian guy doing
having an actual Indian man do it. Because imagine like he comes in.
You think that's more racist than a white guy doing an Indian accent?
I'll tell you why.
Whoa.
Fam, I'll tell you why. In this specific scenario, not in general.
Okay.
In this specific scenario, because like I said, they're playing off the stereotype thing, right?
Yeah.
The man had to learn how to read the lines in the accent as a voice actor.
This guy's artistic? What do you
if an Indian man came in with an accent, the way I picture it, he comes in and he doesn't even know the lines. And they're just like, oh, hi, my name is Bunty. And they're like, yeah, you got the job, bro. Like,
why would he know the lines, though?
I'm just saying, it just feels like they would have picked him just because they think it sounds funny.
I don't know. Imagine the audition, though, was like 8 white dudes and they're all like, do, 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 do. Like, which one's better? Like, that's wild.
That is crazy. Yeah. Can you put more da in their da?
I have a question.
Yes.
Like, what if it was an Indian guy, but say he grew up in Canada, so he doesn't have that accent? But it's an Indian guy, and then you tell the Indian guy, yo, do the accent.
Yes, I'd still take it.
Okay.
I still take it because it's like he probably had an accent at some point, or his parents do,
or his parents, or it's also like I guess that just becomes code switching. People do that all the time.
Oh, and I still code switch. I don't know if you do, because
bro, like,
if I talk like this to my mom, she's like, "What? Do you think you're better than me?"
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, like I'll use like because I grew. This is a good example of that because I speak like this without the accent. But if I'm speaking to my mom and I say a word in English, I'm using the accent.
How do you say mom? Like when you see her,
Mummy.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the most. That's Apu right there.
Yeah,
Mummy.
yeah. But the craziest one is because I didn't know what a vacuum was until like grade 3 or 4. Like we would have it.
Okay.
We would always use the vacuum, but like my mom would say, "Go do the machine." Like instead of saying vacuum, she'd be like, "Just do the machine." Like go do the. And then I still do that if I'm speaking to her. I'm like, "Well, I just did the machine."
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
You
No,
know
there's
what I
a bunch. Like there's stuff. There's definitely more examples of that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yes.
But staying on the topic of comedy for a bit too.
Yeah.
What would you say if you had to pick? What would be your most memorable gig, good or bad? So like, what was one of your fondest memories, like where you're like, yo, this was one of the best shows I did, and what was one that was like not necessarily a bomb, but just like a show where you're like, this was crazy?
Oh, let's start with that. Okay, I think one of the like all Caribbean shows that I did with like, Jay Martin, one of those. I think it was like in Oshawa or something, and it was like nobody was listening. Like those they're like in a banquet hall, bro. They're wearing like sequins and they're like they're there to party and like listen to their DJ go like they're not here to hear you do jokes. And it's like, oh, here we go. And I always look at Jay and I'll be like, I hate you so much. I hate you so much. And then you feel dirty when you do those shows. Like I feel like can I say it? I feel like a whore. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh, here we go. Like, and I just gotta go do my jokes and get my money and get out of there. So I think like those kind of shows at banquet halls, which I legit did one yesterday, but it was so good.
No, but some of them are a fucking nightmare.
Oh my gosh, some of them are so bad, right? And my probably the best experience, I think, when I was in Saint Martin, because I didn't realize like the island's small, but literally everybody came out. So it was like I don't know, 5,000 people.
That's
everybody
crazy.
From the island like was there, and there's a like a political person, and he had the same last name as me, Ferrier.
Yeah.
And so I found out he's a minister of finance. So every radio gig I did before that, like they were interviewing me and stuff before the show, they were like, "Oh, are you related to him?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, I don't really know much about him." And then when I found out who he was and he was at the show, I did this bit. I opened with it in a new country where I'm like, are they gonna even like me? I was like, fuck it, I don't care. I was like, so I know a lot of you guys think that I'm related to, Minister of Finance's Mr. Ferrier.
Yeah.
And, at first I was like, no, I'm not. But then I found out you live on that big house on the hill and I found out what you do here. Yeah. I was like, actually, we don't know yet. So if you want to meet me backstage, there is a DNA test. So after the show, Dad, I'll see you back there. And oh my God, it felt like the whole island like was clapping and just losing it for me.
That's crazy.
And then I felt comfortable, like, because there's something wild about being in a country that you're like, are they gonna get me?
Yeah, like
right?
Just not knowing the sense of humor. But I think like that is to me an example of what you can't take away stage experience.
100%.
Like if you were just like someone that just did social media and you popped off and then you started stand up as a hobby,
yes,
I don't think you would have known to be able to do that.
Correct.
Yeah, because none of them. It's already not your. It's not. Forget not being your audience. You're not even in your country.
No, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
That's dope, yo.
I think a lot of comics don't realize like that is a skill that needs to
100%.
be there. That it's like. Even yesterday, like I did this whole, it was like a Caribbean show. It was kind of like a small hall like this. Yeah. And it was like lights on. They just ate dinner and dessert. And then I walk in. And as soon as I walked in through the door, they're like, our comedian is here. And they just called me. And I was like, oh. Yeah. But like I had to really adapt quickly because I'm like, okay, I can scan. Like these are older people. I can't swear.
100%.
I can't be dirty, you know, and it's like, okay, they're Caribbean people, they're gonna want to hear my Caribbean material, and then I'm like, I have to make fun of myself first,
yes,
because I can't just make fun of them. They're gonna be like,
yo, who she thinks
you
she
know what I
is,
mean,
just
throw
came in
a Heineken at my head top.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think that skill, a lot of comedians don't realize. I didn't realize I needed that skill until much later in my career.
But also, it's like we forget that, like, we know there's a show.
Yes.
Half the time we're just interrupting dinner. You know what
I know.
You know what I mean? But you actually touched on this a lot as well, and I was gonna ask you about this. So, you talked a little bit about the Indian heritage and, you know, your background and that having an influence in your comedy. Obviously, there's a heavy Caribbean influence in your comedy as well. Your husband's also Caribbean, right? You have the 2 beautiful kids.
Thank you.
So, like, with that as well, how did you find balancing, like, both of those cultural identities? And did you ever feel like people were what would be like, oh, like, she's stepping in and out of this, like, you know what I mean, she doesn't really claim it? Like, what was your feeling surrounding that?
First of all, I do want to clarify, like, I don't carry both identities. My kids
of course
do, right? My kids do, but for me it's like, I just realized that a lot of, like, Jamaican households are very similar to 100%. Indian households. So, like, I picked at those things and I did comparisons so that, you know, they felt comfortable with me in their space and speaking about the things that they do in their home, you know. And I think I get a pass because I married a Jamaican man.
100%,
so they're like, go on chat. Like, you know, it's like, okay, all right. But yeah, like, I was born in India. Like, people don't realize that. I was born in Leelavati Hospital, okay? Like, so in Mumbai, like, I don't know why I'm bigging this up like I'm Tupac or something. Like, it's like Leelavati Hospital.
Big up Leelavati.
Big up Leelavati. But, you know, I just, like, for people to think that, oh, like, she's using this for whatever, I don't know what they would say, but I couldn't care less. Like, I know where I'm from. I know I was actually born there. 100%. And you know what? My partner is Black. My children are Black. And it's like, if you don't see that as allyship, like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, bro. You have receipts.
I have literal receipts that came out of my badge. Okay, like, I am an ally in this community. But at the same time, I mean, it sounds like I'm being like, oh, I have Black friends. Like, it's not. It's not even that. I don't think I give myself a card to say anything that I 100%. Want to. I think that whatever I say is still respectful and still funny and still truth.
Yeah, you know? And not for nothing, like, if it was the other way around, you wouldn't be doing Caribbean shows, right? There's a reason why you're on these stages. There's a reason why you have the following you do, is because I think there's always been a difference between, like, celebrating and appreciating a culture versus appropriating it.
And there's something that people don't realize, especially Caribbean audiences. They love it when a non-Caribbean person can, like, call them out on stuff that they do or even do the accent. Like, yesterday there was a dude in the audience, like, at a table, and I did my Brampton joke, and he literally went like this, put his hand up, and I was like, what is this, school, sir? Yes, how can I help you? And he just did an Indian accent. A bad one. And he was like, I'm also from Brampton, you know? And I'm like, oh, this is what we're doing? And I'm like, oh, like, where I come from, I call that racist. And then they laugh. And then I was like, oh, he's like, do you want me to teach you the Jamaican accent? In front of everybody. You know? And I was like, okay, you wait. Like, and then I did my whole Caribbean set. He was dying. He was literally like this to me, you know? So, like, yeah, it's, I don't know. I just brush that shit. Cause
no,
it's just
100%,
haters.
man. You have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for that. Kind of pivoting away from the stand-up for a bit. We'll probably come back to it anyway. Sure. But you've also had experience in the past working as a behavioral therapist and like being involved in that field. Yeah. Can you walk us through, like, what that actually looks like? Like, I'm familiar with, like, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, right? That type of stuff. What exactly is behavioral therapy? Like,
okay, so I worked with kids on the spectrum. So they had autism, and sometimes they were, you know, on the lower end of the spectrum or the higher end of the spectrum. And that's really what what it is how much they can function in society.
100%, yeah.
So, you know, I taught things like just language, even like speech, behavior, communication, things like that. And it literally was the best job I've ever had. I loved working with kids one-on-one, like sitting on the floor and working with a kid. And you know how many kids I got where they were nonverbal, and then we worked together for like a year sometimes, and then all of a sudden they say juice or something, their first word, and like the tears that are flowing from the parents and from me, like man. What a thing to like be like, I did that.
I'm part of that.
You know, I'm part of that. So it's an amazing job.
That's crazy, yo. So like what would some of that entail? Like, are you trying to study basically like, because obviously even if someone is nonverbal, like I've had some experiences working with like youth with developmental disabilities, so like autism and stuff as well. But like when you're talking about like communication, are you just trying to study basically how they communicate and then teaching them different ways of being able to do that?
Yeah, so there's tests back like, I don't know, this was like probably 20 years ago. We had something called a VB map, which kind of was an outline of all the skills your child should have, like milestones at whatever age. So we'd see, oh, this child doesn't have this milestone, and then we'd put in a program to teach that milestone.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So communication, obviously there's verbally, but if they have no verbal communication at all, like no sounds even coming from them, we also try sign.
Wow.
Right.
Dude.
And we always pair sign with verbal language as well. Because we don't want to just stick on the sign in case that verbal language comes out at some point.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And then do you find that there was, and I don't know if there was, you can say no, but like, was there any bleed in to like your skills that you garnered there into comedy? Like, was there any transference of skills?
Yeah, I always say, like, as a joke, but I worked with children on the spectrum, and now doing comedy, I work with adults on the spectrum that I cannot fix.
Yeah, so, no, they're all mod.
They're all great. Yeah. Like, 100%. So, yeah, like, just like, definitely patience.
Yeah.
Dealing with the things, the crap that we got to deal with in the industry is something I took with me.
100%, yo.
Yeah, and you gotta have a sense of humor doing behavior therapy with kids. Like a lot of those kids are hilarious, and
so funny, bro.
So funny, right? And so definitely keeping my sense of humor throughout helped as well.
Yeah. I talked a little bit about that before too. Like especially when you're working with like a vulnerable population or youth specifically, like they're always gonna do shit to test you.
100%.
If you buckle, they're like, bro, they know.
Oh,
they're
100%.
like, this is the target now.
100%. Yeah.
Kind of backtracking a bit.
Yeah.
Like talking about like, being in an interracial relationship, having mixed kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, sometimes there could be culture clashes with family.
Yes. 100%. Yeah.
How would you say was the best way you were able to navigate that? Was that something that was a challenge at first? And then what did you guys work on to like be able to, because I think that's, not to get too personal, but I guess like that's some of the challenges that has happened in my own relationship. Like my wife is Guyanese.
Yes.
And
big
up Chrissy. Yeah. My wife is Guyanese, and it's crazy to me because it's like she's Indo-Caribbean.
That's what I'm saying. Like she's a brown girl to me.
And like, to me it's like to us, I'm like, they're like, it's the same. We're the same thing.
Yeah.
But then there was little instances or nuances that would come up that was like, and it wasn't so much outward disrespect. I think the things that were challenging were like underlying stuff. Like I would be like, oh, we don't do it like that.
Yes.
And it's like, but it's like the way it's said is like what you're doing is wrong. Not different.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And our way is better.
Yes.
Yeah, that is really tough to navigate. It's wild that Indian people have their own racism in their own community. Like, bro, like go look in the world. There's way more racism for you to delve in. Yeah. But we're like, no, there's racism at home. Like it's like, and if you look at me, like I think we're the same complexion.
Yeah.
But like in my family, I'm the dark one.
Yeah. No,
right? Because my brother is mad fair. Like he's fair. And so like for me, even going back to India and then being like, oh, I got you a hat. And I'm like, what? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, you got me a hat. And this hat is like this big hat, like covers the sun. Like, wow. I see
what the fuck the hat was for,
right?
auntie.
So I'm like, what? in our own community is crazy. Yeah. So like I think for me growing up, I was always aware of that difference because like I said, I was the dark one, the black one in my family. And so I became fascinated with actually like real black things. Right? Like I started like looking at like poetry and like I think I was like in grade 4. I found a book by Langston Hughes, and he's like a poet from back in the day, you know, during like Martin Luther King time. And I was so fascinated with his poems and all that stuff. And then I showed my mom, I'm like, this is a real black guy. Like, I'm not black, you know? And she's like, I never said that. I'm like, no, but you gave me a hat. Like, you know, like they still don't say it.
You start realizing
You start realizing it, right? And it's still the same. It's still the same. Like, but at the end of the day, I made my decisions based on what I wanted in life, and I thought about, you know, moving forward, what would I want my kids to do, and I wouldn't want to be a burden on my kids and make their decisions based on what I want for them. So I was like, this is my life. I literally get one life. I don't get 2. I don't get 9 like you guys think. Like I get 1. You know. So that's where I was like, you got to have a sense of like, I don't care. Respectfully, because that is your parent, you know? So,
and at the end of the day, I think it's like it was it's also trying to empathize in a sense of like understanding where their knowledge comes from themselves. Because bro, in India, like if you talk to someone from India now, they have no recollection or they don't have any idea of the West Indies or the history of the diaspora. You know what I mean? Not at all. They won't know. They'll just see it as like, oh, it's a lower caste or some shit like that. And it's like, that's crazy to me. That's like that's like colonialism at its finest.
To me, 100%. Because to me, all of the people were all Indian at some point. And then white people took this group us and was like, you go this way, you go that way, and you go here. So it's like, we're all the same if you really think about it.
Yeah, it's crazy. But and you kind of said this though, and we discussed this a bit before as well. Like when we talk about like generational ties or like generational trauma and stuff like that and breaking the cycle, what exactly does that look like to you? And like, you don't have to go into specifics per se, but like what were some of the things you realized like, yo, these are things that I have to change?
Yeah, definitely the colorism. Right? Because my, you know, my kids go through it as well. We live in Stony Creek and it's mainly white. And so it's like you want your kids to be in a better place and good schools, but then you're also surrounding them with people that don't look like them, unfortunately. You know, so it's like definitely just instilling confidence. It all starts from confidence. And if I don't know about you, but like my parents never talked about confidence or maybe
never.
You know, like my dad, you know, God rest his soul, he would say, today's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Pops.
Thank you. He would say, you're a Ferrier. Never forget that. And that was the only little glimpse of confidence I ever had. But he wasn't like, look in the mirror, like you're perfect the way you are. Like I say that to my kids now, right? Like my daughter's all the time like picking on herself, like, oh my God, mommy, yo, I have a 5 head, bruh. Like, you know how these kids talk, and I'm like, so what? Your head is perfect, bro. Like, what do you mean? You're beautiful. And then she'd be like, should I do my hair like this or should I do my hair like this? And I'm like, it doesn't matter because the face card doesn't decline. Okay?
That's fine.
So like things like that is like, my parents never said that to me. You know, it was just like, oh, like don't show your skin. Right? Like cover up. Don't wear things that are revealing. You know, but not like, hey, you're beautiful. Like you're, you know, you're smart.
It wasn't a lot. It was more so how you presented to the world.
And of course, you know, our parents, they're just a product of their environment. And like they really had kids to like show off to other people.
100%.
Like that's really what it is. It's
100%,
like, oh, you know, my daughter's doing this. Oh, my son's doing this. So that's really like, that's all they wanted at that time.
Would you say that there were things that you didn't know that like you had to break until later on in life? Like what were like, and how did you become aware of it? Because I think sometimes, like even for myself, like there was things that I didn't learn until I got into a relationship where I realized there was a lot of things that I was still carrying. You know what I mean? And that And like that would cause obviously friction in the relationship, but it was also part of those things where it's like I think it was just bringing it to light.
Yes.
You know?
But you know, at the end of the day, you're a different type of dude. Like, you're a really good dude at heart. And I think you'd be like open to like picking at yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I think you'd be like, okay, like I didn't realize this. Now that I know this, like, let me do something here. You know, where a lot of men wouldn't do that. They'd be like, huh? What are you talking about? I'm good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, like, that's the start. I think having that and realizing, like, and I'm sure there's things I haven't discovered. Also, like, even, like, colorism is one thing, but even, like, gaining weight as a female. Like, you know what's crazy is Indian people feed you to fatten you up, and then when you're fat, they're like, you're too fat.
They comment on you being fat. Or it's
and
like,
it's always
no one's going to marry you. Look how big you are.
Bro, it was always the fattest auntie that was like, oh my God, you're so fat. And I'm like, bruh, you need 2 seats,
Crazy,
guys.
Bro.
Right?
Crazy.
Like, it's always that type of person. And then even to realize. So, like, my kids would tell me something about, like, you know, like, and you know what was crazy for me, actually? That the person that saved me was my brother.
Wow.
My brother, I'll tell you a joke story, like a funny story, is that I was at, you know, I think I was grade 7 at school dance, and nobody wanted to dance with me. And I used to have a little crush on this white boy named Dan, okay? And, like, he made me feel so shame at that school dance.
Fuck you, Dan.
Fuck you, Dan.
Yeah,
he's probably fat and homeless right now. Fucking, is he alive? He probably had a heart attack. This guy probably smoked 8 cigarettes a day for sure.
Bro, okay? Talking about healing generational trauma. I hope he fucking died, bro.
I hope you're homeless. Okay? But like, he basically came up to me at the school dance. I was sitting on a chair and I was like, oh my God, this is the moment. You know that moment, like, you don't know, but like little girls, they're like, oh my God, this guy's gonna ask me to dance. And he goes, can you get up for a second? And I was like, oh my God, yeah. And I got up. This fucker took my chair and ran away, and everybody started laughing at me. And then I was just standing there, like, so embarrassed. I didn't even know what to do. Yeah. So I couldn't tell my parents that, because they're like, oh, you like boys, bitch. And I'm like, you know, they're gonna go on that. I tell my brother, and my brother's like, yo, what's this guy's name? And he goes, and I said, Dan. And he goes, yo, go to school tomorrow and go, fuck you, Dandruff. And I was like, yo. So funny, I go to school and I couldn't say the F part because I was like, yo, my parents are gonna like be like, what are you doing? Yeah. But he was like, yo, like, you know, he tried to like pick on me about something, and I was like, man, leave me alone. Dandruff. Yo, the whole school was like, oh, fire. I think that was probably one of the first moments that I discovered like humor saved me. Yeah. You know, and it continues to save me. And I'm like, you don't realize that moment until you're like grown and you look back and you're like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. That was defining for me in my life. That's
first, fuck that. But also, that's fire, yo. That's tough.
And it's so stupid, like dandruff. But in grade 7, it's a big deal.
Yeah, in grade 7, you're like, you can say anything. But yo, that's beautiful, because like I've talked about that before, where it's like sometimes you don't even realize like life sets you up in 100%. Ways you wouldn't even imagine.
100%.
But pivoting off of that as well, I was gonna ask. I forgot what I was gonna fucking ask.
We got too hype. We're like, fuck you, Dan. Yeah,
fuck you, Dandruff. Oh, are there any? So this is kind of, we're jumping back and forth, but going back to comedy for a second, are there any topics or subject matters that you think should be off limits in stand-up or on stage?
No.
No.
I truly don't believe that. Like, and I've done roast battles where people are like, is there anything off limits? I'm like, nah. You could talk about my dead father. You could talk about, if you talk about my kids, I'm gonna get at you. Yeah. But like, I'm not saying don't.
You can. There's gonna be consequences, but
there's gonna be consequences, because I'm not gonna sit there and let you talk about my kids. You know. Absolutely. So like, no. I think that here's the difference. I think if you do it and you do it well and it's written well and it's funny, you can't deny that. Oh, like you're like, I hate that I think that's funny. Yeah. I am such an asshole for thinking that's funny, but that's hilarious. Yeah. And then there's that line where people are just trying to be edgy and just say shit just to say shit.
And yo, that I think that's exactly my philosophy of it too, where it's like, I think that's the problem where like newer comics that try to take on subjects that they're not ready for.
100.
Because it's like, to them, it's like, yo, I'm just trying to be edgelord, or like, oh, I should be freedom of speech, whatever the fuck, and I should be allowed to say whatever. It's like, yo, you can say whatever, But don't blame the audience if the joke sucks.
And don't be surprised when you get thumped when you get on the stage.
Absolutely, yo.
Like, you can't just say anything, talk out your neck, and be racist or, you know, any type of phobic and come out and then expect people to be like, you know, like,
yeah,
good
it's like
set. Like, no, what's wrong with you? Why would you say that?
There's going to be
know?
consequences, but that doesn't mean that it was because... It was, one, because you said some shit offensive, of course. But two, the biggest thing is it just wasn't funny.
Wasn't funny at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you kind of mentioned this with the behavioral therapy stuff too, and with the whole Dandruff story. But like, I've always found humor was also the best way for me growing up to like break that tension.
Yeah.
But like, I noticed I wouldn't say earlier on, like I noticed like way later in life that like a lot of the time humor was used as a defense mechanism.
Yes.
Do you ever feel like that was the case for you? And do you think that that is still what it is, or have you changed what it is to you now? Like,
no, I think it'll always be like my you know, like my back pocket thing that saves me. Yeah. Like, for sure. Even in like situations that are tense and things like that, you make a joke and it kind of breaks the tension.
Yeah.
Like, my husband's really funny. Like, he's not a comedian, like, per se.
Well, Trifoni fucking.
Well, he's been trying. I mean, he's been doing comedy lately.
I'll share
so
one of my favorite stories you told me about him after this.
Oh my gosh, he's so funny. But it was like, I think it was like my uncle's funeral, and like nobody wants to speak, nobody wants to say anything. He got up there and literally did like a 5-minute set. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Just off the cuff.
Yeah, he just.
That's crazy.
Like my Indian uncle's funeral with, you know, and my. Of course, he's black husband, like, going up, and they're already like, oh, like he's going up already. But he made all those aunties and uncles laugh.
That's
you know,
so
and I'm like, first of all,
bro.
being like a black dude in an Indian tight situation of like a family death, and then making everyone laugh, it was like a double wham to me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
that's incredible, bro. Yeah. But like, one of my favorite stories you told me, I don't even know if you remember telling me this, but you told me you guys went on a trip to Jamaica one time.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the guys there like will catcall, but they'll say like crazy shit.
Yo, I love Jamaica though, because they're just so real. Like,
raw, bro. Raw
and real. And like, they're not going to lie to you.
No.
That's it. They're like an honest, loving people.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love going to Jamaica.
And like, that's what I was saying. I talked about this before too, is that like your nickname is based off of whatever physical insecurity you
exactly. And you got to live with, you're just like, okay, cool. You take the name. Like, you look, when they call you like Limpy, if you have one leg.
Like, yo, this is not Jamaican, but there's a spot in where I grew up in Shoreham, that was like a Guyanese Chinese spot. Every Guyanese person I spoke to, none of them know each other, by the way, but they all just knew the man as Big Head because he had a big ass head, bro.
I'm dead. Yo, exactly. That's it. You have a big head.
Crazy.
Your name's Big Head. Like,
Big Head.
I'm dead. Yeah.
But my favorite story was, I remember you were telling me you guys were walking down, and then there was some dude catcalling or some shit, and you turned to your husband and you're like, yo, you're not gonna say anything to the man? He just said something crazy. And your phony's like, yo, he's sitting on a bucket.
Fam, can I say what the man said?
Yeah, please.
So first of all, let me set the stage, okay? It's like in a local street, like there's a market, like, you know, it's like regular local folks on the street doing their thing, right? This man is sitting on a bucket, like sitting down low on a bucket. His eye level is like my waist, okay? And I'm holding my husband's hand walking.
Yeah.
And he goes to, there's another guy beside the bucket guy. He taps me and goes, what a fat piece of pussy pon that. And we all heard it. And I was like, and then like Trifoni just like, whatever, just kept walking. And I'm like, yo, like, you're not going to, yo, that was mad. He said that out loud in front of everyone.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, that man is on a bucket. If you want a bucket life, go with him. I was like, yo, straight facts. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Like,
that's so funny, yo. Because especially as a guy, I never know what to do in those situations. Because I'm like, I don't want to make it weird, and I start getting mad.
Yeah, I think like if you get mad, it almost shows like some sort of insecurity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then girls, we're toxic. We're like, why didn't you get mad?
Yeah, why didn't
we're
you
like,
fight this
why
man?
didn't you do something?
Yeah.
Like the man's like that tall. You're like, go get him. Like it's like no, but yeah, man, you're not supposed to do anything in that situation. You just like.
Yeah, but I remember I was crying the first time you told me that, bro.
Yeah.
So good.
And now not now, but like, when we used to go out clubbing and things like that together, like if guys used to try to hit on me, he used to let them. He used to stand beside me and let them. And then he used to be like, yo, like you're coming home with me. Like you're a bad bitch. Like why?
Yeah.
Like that makes me look good.
Yeah, if
so
anything,
who
it's like a
cares?
compliment because it's like, yo, they're trying to head at my girl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I got one more question, and then we're going to go into our new segment that I'm working on.
I'm scared.
Yeah, okay. But if you could have any, if there was any talent or passion you could have pursued outside of comedy, what would it have been? Honestly, it doesn't even have to be something you're good at. Like even if you could choose.
Low key, like I don't know, like I don't think I can say this about myself, but like I think I do pretty well at karaoke, and I'm like maybe I could have been a Bollywood singer.
Say a word. What's your go-to song?
No, I'm not telling you.
No, what do you mean?
I have them all saved on YouTube. Shut up. My cousin gets so mad because I always sing like love songs and ballads, and she's just like, Mr. Lava Lava. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, she always makes fun of me because I love to sing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could be like a star, but like maybe I could have pursued that with some training.
Or like a professional karaoke thing. You would just been indoctrinated into Filipino culture.
Dead. Exactly. Exactly. Right? That's it. Yeah.
All right. So this is a new segment I'm working on. So it's going to be a multiple choice. All the questions and options have been curated by me.
Of course they have.
But each level is not. So it'll start off pretty light.
Oh, there's levels to
Yeah, yeah. And then it'll gradually get crazier.
Okay.
Okay. So first question is, you are headlining a show. There's a heckler in the audience that has been yelling at all of the comedians and talking shit for the whole duration of the show. You're about to go up, but as soon as you get on stage, they quiet down. They stop speaking. Mm-hmm. Do you A, tear their shit up anyways on stage, or B, continue on with your set since they stopped, C, have them kicked out, or D, make fun of the other comedians for not being able to handle it?
No. B and D still. B and D. Like,
okay.
Because I'm like, if he's quiet, because like while you were telling that story, I already thought, what am I going to do? Yeah. Right? And for me, if that person's not heckling me, they're listening to me, I'm going to leave them alone. The minute they open their mouth, that's done. Whatever they say, it's done. But like also, all of a sudden he's listening to me. I am going to make fun of the comics that went up before me. He's like, what did you guys do? This guy's like, he's chill now.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think I'd leave him alone if he's quiet.
All right, here's the next one. You are in the woods camping.
Okay, something I will never do.
Yeah, you probably never do
this
it.
Question, nope, never. Nope, sorry, you can't catch me.
Inside of your tent, you hear what seems to be a bear outside.
Okay.
Do you A, try to fight off the bear?
Are you mad?
Wait, and also, given your answers, explain why. So A, do you try to fight off the bear? B, send your husband to investigate? C, plan to escape? Or D, do nothing and hope for the best?
That's a hard question because I'm like, how do I know it's a bear? Like, is it a baby
you don't.
bear?
You just hear rustling.
I just hear a noise.
Yeah, and it sounds like a bear.
I'm staying in the tent. I'm not going nowhere.
You're not gonna check to see what the thing is?
No, as long as it leaves me alone. Like it's outside my tent. I'm in my tent.
But it can smell you, fam. You just made tandoori chicken, and the thing is, the man can smell it.
So it's an Indian bear?
No,
like I wouldn't. Honestly, I'm terrified of camping. First of all, I would never be in this situation. It's very hard for me.
Hypothetical,
to answer this.
yeah.
Hypothetical. I feel like if I heard a noise, I would just be like, I would just freeze.
Okay, fair. All right.
And then wait for it to go. And then obviously, if it like scratches up my tent or something and rips it, then I'm sending my husband, fam. Go deal with that.
Fam, get the bucket.
Get the bucket. Go deal with that.
Okay. All right. We got two more.
Okay.
Your daughter comes home from school crying. She lets you know that a kid has been bullying her and said racial slurs while she was at school.
This is real.
However, you find out that the kid that making fun of her is in a wheelchair and has, and has cerebral palsy.
So, wait. Fam, you're wild for
Okay,
this.
hold on. I didn't ask you the options yet.
I don't need the options, fam. You're wild.
Do you actually, this is crazy that you brought up the Dandruff story, because one of the first option was, do you help her write jokes to roast him back? Do you B, give her a Decepticon sticker to put on his chair?
Oh my god!
Do you C, call the school yourself and file a formal complaint? Or D, do you show up to the school yourself and roast the kid and his parents?
Okay, so as a mother who's legit been through, not the wheelchair and all the foolishness, but like someone bullying my kid or saying something wild to my kid, like your first instinct as a mother is to be like, yo, I will push that wheelchair into oncoming traffic.
Yeah.
You're done. You're done. Okay. But I'm trying to set an example for my girls as well.
Yes.
Okay. So I would probably do the meeting and talk to the school.
Okay.
But behind the school's back, I would write jokes.
Roast
with the kid, know, with my kid about that kid.
Yes.
And then be like, if you say it or if you don't, like, I'm not going to get you in trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? I feel like I'm doing combos and not picking something.
No, that's good. Yeah, I like that. You explain yourself.
Okay.
That one made me laugh too when I wrote it.
Decepticon sticker? I can't with you.
The last one I didn't write down, but I thought about it in my head, so I just have to figure out how to word it again. Okay. You go to sleep and you have a dream that the spirit of the universe spoke to you. This is real. This is not a dream. Sorry. But the spirit of the universe speaks to you and the world is about to end. You have one way to save humanity. But in order to do so, you have to save one person's life. Okay? These are the people you have to save. You have to choose one of them in order to save all of humanity. Justin Trudeau in blackface. So he can never take the blackface off. He has to stay in it. B.
Why did I drink water?
Yeah. B. Donald Trump. C. P. Diddy.
Oh, why?
Or D. Yo, Dante, what's Jeffrey Epstein's wife's name?
Ghislaine
Epstein.
I didn't know they were married.
Or whatever. His non-victim.
I'm gonna go with Trudeau still.
In black, he could never take blackface off.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
Keep it. Because like Trump is crazy, fam.
Yeah, Trump is actually ruining the world right now.
Ruining the world. And then like Ghislaine, like she's just as bad as
She's an evil, bro.
She's evil. And then P. Diddy, fam. Are you crazy? P. Diddy's P. Diddy. Like, okay, can I ask you something off topic? Well, it's on topic, but not in your game.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever like listen like on the radio, like or like a song will come up on your like playlist and it's like one of the, you know, the ones that are in jail, and do you turn it off?
I have
you listen to that shit.
No, not P. Diddy's. Cause I was never really like into his shit. What did he really have? Like the only music I really heard from him was like Mo Money, Mo Problems.
Yeah.
But like R. Kelly.
Oh, that's so hard for me.
Yeah.
What's your R. Kelly song that you're like, oh, I'm gonna listen to this by myself?
Bro, Ignition was tough. But
remix to Ignition.
Remix and I Wish was goated.
Oh,
I wish.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah.
But yeah, it is difficult now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But that was a good question. Okay, final one. This one's not crazy.
Okay.
You have the opportunity to bring back one comedian. These are the four options: Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Bernie Mac, Robin Williams.
Ooh. I'm gonna say Richard Pryor.
Pryor. Yeah. Go ahead. You can't.
Because at this time, there's nobody like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like for him to come back at this time, imagine the jokes that he would make that he'd get in so much trouble for. Yeah, I just want to see that.
Yeah. That was beautiful, yo. Yeah. Crystal, thank you for being the first guest, man. I greatly appreciate it. I couldn't have asked for anyone better. But please tell the people where they can find you, any upcoming shows, anything you want to plug.
You can find me at Crystal the Comedian, and I'm also the host of Comedy in 5 on CHCH, and you can stream it on parrot.tv. Thanks.
Yes, thank you guys. And I've been your host, Jesse Singh. You can hit me up at Punjabi Timbit or at Creating Consciousness 905. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in. Thank you again, Crystal.
Yeah.
Peace and love, y'all.
See ya.